Phyllis, where we've got another guest from the Phab Club here at Downham Market, and her name is Phyllis Ricks. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so you've picked 8 records for Desert Island. What do they mainly consist of?
Mostly just tunes that throughout my life I've liked, and they all represent a special time in my life.
You've done them sort of roughly in order as you sort of heard them.
Hopefully,
so
yes.
Yeah. So what's the first one?
Moonlight Serenade.
Right.
Glenn Miller.
Why have you chosen this Glenn Miller one in particular?
Well, that was one of the first ones I heard from Glenn Miller Orchestra many years ago, during the war, as a matter of fact. And they used to play quite a lot, the bands, emulating Glenn Miller.
Was there a lot about that time? Yeah, that was the in thing. Everybody was trying to do it. Yeah.
Everybody was trying
So
to do it.
yeah, so it's a really memorable sort of part in the history of music as well. It's
That's
not just
right.
your time as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Would you like to introduce the first one then?
Glenn Miller, Moonlight Serenade.
Okay. Glenn Miller and Moonlight Serenade, the first choice on Mrs. Rick's Desert Island Disc today. Okay, so what's the second choice?
Okay, Neil Sedaka. After the war, and I married, I had 4 girls. As I used to dance as a teenager myself, I obviously expected that they were going to dance, which they did quite well. And O'Carroll was one of their favourite tunes that they liked, and whenever I hear it, I can see them all sort of jigging around either the front room or what used to be the forerunners of the discos.
So a lot of these tracks have really got memories of children as well, growing up.
So the sort of things I'd want on a desert island if I was there on my own.
It's probably the first track of Neil Sedaka's. I think it was the very first track he did, so the first you'd heard. But what did you think of Neil Sedaka?
I thought he was very good. I loved all of his tunes.
So I saw him on a Sue Lawley programme a couple of months ago, late night. Yeah, he's still going. He's determined at the moment to compose his own tunes, and there's very little difference in his voice. He just looks older. That's all. But in fact, to be honest, I wouldn't have really thought it was Neil Sedaka until I turned the sound up. Really, as soon as you hear the sound, you know it's him. So okay then. So we'll hear that one, "Oh Carol" from Neil Sedaka.
Treat me cruel. You hurt me and you make me cry. But if you leave me, I will surely die. Darling, there will never be another, 'cause I love you so. Don't ever leave me. Say you'll never go. You for my sweetheart, no matter what you do. Oh, Carol, I'm so in love with you. Oh, Carol, I am but a fool. Darling, I love you, though you treat me cruel. You hurt me, and you make me cry. But if you leave me, I will surely die. Darling, there will never be another, 'cause I love you so. Don't ever leave me. Say you'll never go. I will always want you for my sweetheart.
"Oh Carol," of course, from Neil Sedaka. Okay, so remember the year of that one?
Not really, not
really.
offhand.
No, that was 59. That one. Yeah. And of course, that was really, as I said, his first track. But he moved into the 60s, and there's several he had. Like he went to Calendar Girl next, and then "Happy Birthday Sweet 16," which we'll hear in a second. Yeah, "Breaking Up Is Hard to Do," "Next Door to an Angel," "Standing on the Inside," etc., etc. Then he started to go through the 70s, and he changed his pace a bit. What did you think of that? I mean, because a lot of his tracks, like "Breaking Up Is Hard to Do," "Next Door to an Angel," they were all very, very similar, weren't they? I mean, what did you think?
I think we sort of got out of him by then.
Yeah.
I don't remember, sort of. I may have listened to one or two, but I didn't sort of make any comparison because those first songs were the ones that the girls were interested in. And
that's when he was Neil Sedaka in a true sense, yeah. Because I mean, he did a track called "I Go Ape," which actually I've never heard. Apparently, it's supposed to be an all-time classic track or something. Everybody seems to know it, but I don't know that one. But I must admit, sort of by the 70s, music itself, to be honest, lost a bit, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was a funny time, yeah. Like the early 80s as well, Even now, it's getting to a dead end, isn't it?
It is for me because I can go back through 3 or if not 4 different styles, different sounds of music.
That's right.
And it's amazing, really. Yeah. I mean, I don't know any of the really up to date ones.
No, well, to be honest, nor do I really. I'm not into them. Yeah. They all sound the same, don't they? That's the problem. It's just, I think this is when music in the 60s was good. You know, it was a lot of it was different, even though people like Neil Sedaka had a lot of the same sort of tracks. You know, I mean, there were different artists around, and yeah. So what's the next one then?
By Neil Sedaka, Sweet 16.
Right.
No, that one follows the same, except that was when my oldest daughter was 16, and we took her out for a meal, and we took her to a place in Norwich, and the band played that especially for her.
Did they?
On her 16th birthday, yes.
Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la, happy birthday, sweet 16. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la, happy birthday, sweet 16. Tonight's the night I've waited for, because you're not a baby anymore. You turned into the prettiest girl I've ever seen. Happy birthday, sweet 16. What happened to that funny face? My little tomboy now wears satins and lace. I can't believe my eyes, you're just a teenage dream. Happy birthday, sweet 16. When you were only 6, I was your big brother. Then when you were 10, we didn't like each other. When you were 13, you were a 40 Valentine. But since you've grown up, your future is sewn up. From now on, you're gonna be mine. So if I should smile with sweet surprise, it's just that you've grown up before my very eyes. You turned into the prettiest girl I've ever seen. Happy birthday, sweet 16. If I should smile with sweet surprise, it's just that you've grown up before my very eyes. You turned into the prettiest girl I've ever seen. Happy birthday, sweet 16. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la, happy birthday, sweet 16. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la, happy birthday, sweet 16.
Okay, so Happy Birthday Sweet 16 from Neil Sedaka. Okay, a piece of classical music next.
Yes, Tchaikovsky, Swan Lake.
Right, so,
Well, I suppose if I were actually stranded on a desert island, some people would say, well, why go back over your life and pick bad periods out? But I did have a bad period. And I used to shut myself away in a bedroom with this record. I didn't.
Did you?
I did. I didn't want to know anybody, and I didn't want anybody near me. And I played this over and over and over and over until I reduced myself to tears. And after I'd had a good cry, I felt better. And I used to come out.
So that's what it used to do. Just to let out the emotions, did it?
That's right. Yeah. It's a lovely piece of music, though. I have seen the Covent Garden Opera. I used to go there when I was in London and see the opera itself. And I've loved the music ever since I went there. But I never failed to think probably how stupid I was when I hear it now. But it was a relief for me. I was very unhappy.
Music, generally, I think, I don't really think we get on in the world without music. And, there are some very emotional pieces. And I expect now it works the other way around, where you're hearing a lot of this music, and it sort of make me feel happy and sort of remembering a few times. That's right.
I always have aligned music to whichever period in my life. that's the way I remember things. Because I hear a particular piece of music and I can remember exactly what I was doing, where I was.
And if one comes on the radio, does it make you want to sort of get out the old records again and put them on?
Sometimes, definitely.
Yeah.
Don't have very much time to do that, but I love a touch of nostalgia now and again.
Oh yeah. I think really that's what music. If there's one thing music does, and it's to bring something like that back, isn't it? I don't think anything else really can do it. Music ties you to a time, and we've said it time and time again on programs for Desert Islanders that I've done, and makes people remember what's happened.
Keeps your memory alive.
That's right. Yeah.
Because there's some things I'd rather forget.
Well, yes.
I said, don't play that because that.
So what piece are we going to hear from Swan Lake then, from Tchaikovsky?
Well, I'd rather like Dance of the Little Swans. That's the one that I used to play the most.
Right. Okay then. Well, it's coming now. Dance of the Little Swans from Tchaikovsky. All right. So we've got another instrumental piece coming next. It's from Love Story. What sort of things does this remind you of?
I loved the film then, and I liked the music. I was then coming out of depression, if one could call it. And I went along to see Love Story. I was a peculiar person really because I don't think until Love Story I actually realised what a great emotion love was. And at that time I was going through a sort of split with my husband. We did eventually part. And that was the sort of beginning of the change to go and see Love Story, and I realised I got something else to learn about life and about love in particular. You see, so that did a great deal for me in a lot of ways. I had been to see a psychiatrist, I'd been to see marriage guidance, I'd been to see a lot of people, And somebody said, oh, well, you look lovely, you look ever so much happy, you look a lot better. And I suggest I got rid of my husband. But that's the way it was. I mean, it does happen to people. There's something you can do about it.
So this was really sort of the only really romantic film you'd really ever seen and really sort of paid attention to?
I'd seen lots of romantic films, but I hadn't got a clue, honestly. I hadn't. I didn't really understand what love was all about. I think that was a transition from, sort of coming under the sort of things that happened in those days. You got married. A wife looked after her husband, you had children, and that was it.
Yeah, that's right.
I think nowadays women are more into relationships than housework, quite honestly. You know, they know much more about it. But we never used to think about it, you know. I didn't even think about getting married. Somebody asked me, just said, I'm leaving my father's employment on such and such a date, and I thought it would be a good day to get married on, and that was the first time I'd ever suggested getting married. And without giving it a second thought, I said, yes, right, fair enough. And of course that was disastrous, really. But we had a good while together, you know, before things did ultimately go wrong. And as I said, after that I had parted with my husband and began to think that there must be something more life than what I'd already experienced in the way of relationships. My children, I mean, I loved them, of course, and I suppose in a way because I didn't know any different, I must have thought something of my husband, but it wasn't what I really wanted. I thought there must be something else in fact.
What do you think about orchestrations like this? I mean, what does it do? Does it sort of stir you? Does it, you know?
I love orchestras anyway. I spent ages.
No matter what they play?
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I like the music from orchestras, and I also like vocalists, if they are good and if they're singing or doing the sort of thing that, you know, appeals
Do the
to
words
me.
matter, do you think, or not? Or is it just the way the voice comes over?
Yeah, I think it's the way the voice comes over. I mean, let's say, for instance...
Well, I think if they're singing a load of
Jones-
rubbish, I mean, that if you can hear they're singing a load of rubbish, obviously that's something different entirely, isn't
That's
it? But
right.
yeah, I mean, we've said before that if you hear a human voice, it doesn't matter what they're singing. You know, you sort of hear the way they're singing. I think that makes a difference. Yeah, Tom Jones
was a prime example. Now, the first time I heard him sing, he was singing What's New Pussycat, but there was something about that man's voice even then that really appeals to me. And, you know, I've listened to things and I've said, the very first time of hearing them, I said, that's man, or that song was going to be a hit. And so it's turned out to be.
What do you think of him now?
I still like him.
Yeah, his voice hasn't changed again,
Not
like
really,
Mr.
no.
Darker, has it? No.
Rod Stewart. The first time I heard him, he was singing Maggie May, and that was fantastic. You know, it's so different to everything else that was going around at that particular time. You know, some of them do stand out. Nowadays, they are much of a muchness. There's not very much difference between them.
No.
I can't honestly say there's any really good music about it.
No.
And Kylie Minogue, she's hopeless really,
I know.
isn't she?
Her voice grates on you, isn't it? It's like this. It's like somebody's drawn their fingernails across a blackboard, you know. From Kylie Minogue to Love Story. orchestrated version of the theme from Love Story, Neil Richardson and his orchestra.
Wasn't that gorgeous?
It was, wasn't it? It's a shame there isn't more music like that. I don't really think there's enough of that, is there, really? Alright, Another Time, Another Place from the Westminster Silver Strings. So, what were you doing at this time?
I think I was sort of going through a rather queer period there in my life. I was quite happy. I was meeting an awful lot of people and saying goodbye. And I hadn't really settled down. I can remember my daughter saying, "Can we write your address in ink now, Mum?" Every time I went somewhere different and stayed there for any length of time, maybe a month, whatever, sort of travelled quite a lot.
Just sort of moving houses.
Well, taking different jobs and that sort of thing. And she said, when are you going to stop running? I said, I'm not running, I'm finding out what I didn't find out before. Just having quite a good time, really.
So you were literally sort of moving to another town, another place, and that's what is that what it is about this, or was that sort of that you heard this about that time? And
it was that time. That was in. Time,
and the title, I suppose, sort of struck a chord with you, I suppose.
Well, I always used to be singing it. For some other reason, I don't really know why. It just, how you are. You're into it. A thing, a certain era in your life, and if a song happens to come out at that particular time that fits what you're either doing, thinking, the mood you're in, that's it. That's the one you stick to for a while.
Right. Okay then. Another town, another place, in the Westminster Strings. Another Town, Another Place, the Westminster Strings. A track from another male artist now, who was sort of around the time, I suppose, of, in fact, even earlier than Neil Sedaka. Who's this?
Johnny Mathis, yes, but I didn't come into his league
until later.
I don't think, no. That's right.
So why
I never
this track?
liked him at one time. The time you're talking about when Neil Sedaka, I couldn't see anything in his voice at all. and then suddenly this particular song struck a chord somewhere, you know. And I thought, yes, that's not.
And you appreciated him in general more?
That's right,
Yeah.
yes.
When a Child is Born, he did
Yes,
as well.
right. I think that was the one I liked the best.
Yeah. I must admit, I don't find Johnny Mathis, I don't mind a few of his records, but When a Child is Born is really great, you know. I don't think it's the artist I like, it's the song. But, you know, it takes a good artist to do a good song, I must admit. I don't think I would have thought it good had I not thought Johnny Mathis was good, you know.
There are times I think he wants to push. You could almost go to sleep.
Yeah.
He's not...
He's a late night.
And I would hate to
bedtime
watch
sort of
him
thing.
because he's like Shirley Bassey. He pulls the most peculiar faces I've
Does he?
ever seen a singer. Yes, he does.
Oh, the open mouth. Yeah, right. Yeah, I
all
know.
over
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's really terrible.
Yeah.
Really, but as I said, you know, this particular little piece that I liked the words. I thought the words were great, and I was in that romantic mood. I'd met someone else by then, and I was beginning to settle down. So.
Love me as though there were no tomorrow. Take me out of this world tonight. Take me, make me forget my sorrow, so when I wake tomorrow, I'll know our love was right. Kiss me as though it were now or never. Teach me all that a heart should know. Love me as though there were no tomorrow. Oh, my darling, love me. Don't ever let me go. Love me as though there were no tomorrow. Oh, my darling, love me. Don't ever let me go.
You were saying there, it's funny how you sort of picked all male artists. I mean,
Yes, I don't know really why, because there's quite a few of the women that I like. Most of the women singers, except from the ones that you know, sort of in current fashion. Doris Day, Emma Fitzgerald. I quite like to listen to Shirley Bassey in some of her songs. I just don't like to watch her. She makes me creep.
yeah.
Would you like to see her?
I'm not really into Shirley Bassey myself.
It's only about
I don't really think she's got a good voice, but I don't really think she sings the type of music that I like to hear. No.
What sort do you like?
Elvis, I don't mind a few Elvis.
And that man never could sing, actually.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, you hear him on
In
Blue
another
Moon,
era.
and yeah.
He was so different.
I must admit, I know my mum has said several times that his, you know, like she thinks Billy Fury's voice is better than Elvis Presley, and I think I probably agree with her. But the fact that he's done different tracks to Billy Fury, I remember him more. I mean, like I did Desert Island Disc myself. I actually interviewed myself, and I had Elvis Presley, Marie's Name is Latest Flame, Rainbow Valley from Love Affair. Couple of modern tracks which sort of have a meaning to me. El Paso from Marty Robbins, because I like Marty Robbins quite a bit, and ever since I was small I heard El Paso. It's just bits and pieces I've picked up from the past, been basically brainwashed with some of the 60s tracks, and you know.
There was a funny story on the radio the other day about this woman in America. I think her name was Eliza Watkins, and she honestly couldn't sing at all, but she used to sing to her family. And they asked one or two of the neighbours in, and the neighbours came and listened to her, and the audience grew and grew and grew. The reason they came was because she was really hysterical to listen to.
Yeah.
And she was convinced that she was really good.
Yeah.
She got to the stage where she hired Carnegie Hall in America, and she filled it. And they all went with their handkerchiefs, and that wasn't to stop them crying, but to stuff in them to stop them from laughing. And they played one of their tracks for her. You've never heard anything like it.
What's the last track that you have?
The last one is the good title is Perry Como. It's a favourite of my husband's and I. And before we got the record, I used to sing it to him all the time. It's just when I sort of entered the last happy stage of my life, which has been going now for 16 or 17 years. That's why I like it.
Don't look so sad. I know it's over, but life goes on, and this old world will keep on turning. Let's just be glad we had some time to spend together. There's no need to watch the bridges that were burning. Lay your head upon my pillow. Hold your warm and tender body close to mine. Hear the whisper of the raindrops blowing soft across the window, and make believe you love me one more time for the good times. You'll find another, and I'll be here if you should find you ever need me. Don't say a word about tomorrow or forever. There'll be time enough for sadness when you leave me. Lay your head upon my pillow. Hold your warm and tender body close to mine. the whisper of the raindrops blowing soft across the window, and make believe you love me one more time, for the good times, for the good times.
So we've come to the end of the record choices. On your desert island, you get to take a book and a luxury item with you. What do you think they would possibly be?
I think I'd take the woman's room. I have the book at the moment, but don't ask me who the author is because I've forgotten. It's obviously a woman. Because that typifies a lot of the things that I think about women. There's a lot of books that I'd like to take, but if I had to choose one, that would be the one.
Swim to your island as you're shipwrecked with a big trunk full of books.
Lovely. I'd be quite happy.
Yeah. You'd be happier than perhaps with records, even.
Well, I could get by.
What about a luxury item?
That's a bit difficult. The only thing I can think of is our water bottle. So just to help me to get to sleep, in case we have a hurricane or something like that.
What do you think your favourite record from the lot? Perhaps you discover a herd of elephants on the island, and they come along and they crush 7 of your records and they leave one.
The last one, definitely.
Good times.
They leave me that one.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, well thanks very much for letting us hear your Desert Island Discs.
Thank you. Yeah.